thoughtful, and oh so soothing. It's Sacramento Smooth Jazz.
Welcome back to Sacramento Smooth Jazz. It is with great pleasure that we introduce our guest today, the exceptionally talented jazz and smooth jazz artist hailing from San Francisco, California, Uncle Los Music. Yes, his music blends traditional jazz elements with contemporary influences. What truly sets Uncle Los Music apart is his remarkable ability to convey a rich tapestry of emotions through his music, and you'll see why in just a few minutes. Whether he's performing in intimate jazz scenes or expansive concert halls, he does create some synergy that resonates with everyone fortunate enough to be there. He is undeniably a standout figure in the music world, continuously pushing the boundaries of his genre with his smooth jazz stylings. So allow me to introduce to you today, Uncle Los Music, the Sacramento Smooth Jazz. How are you today, Carlos?
Fine, Michael. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. I know you're really busy, so we won't be long at all.
No worries. My pleasure.
Talk to me. I really had a remarkable time, seeing you perform in concert some time ago there in the Bay Area. And I had a blast, and everything was amazing, and not traditional jazz or smooth jazz, but you have some jazz elements in there.
Absolutely.
You infused the R&B, the jazz, contemporary and smooth. How do you do that? What was the start of that for you?
Kind of actually started coming up in church and just hearing that kind of vibe every Sunday. There's certain spirituality to it. I've always loved jazz. I grew up in a time when jazz fusion was big. So I was a Jeff Lorber fan. I was a big Herbie Hancock fan. I was a big George Duke guy. And I loved how they were able to make jazz funky, So I knew if I had the chance that was the direction I wanted to go into. And so, I've always enjoyed kind of bridging the gaps between jazz and soul and R&B and even elements of gospel into it and just putting it out there so people can vibe off of it.
When I had the chance to see you in concert, I was invited and I didn't hear about your music. I heard about your music actually weeks before. And I said, I'm really enjoying this. And I found out you were going to be performing and I got invited to that. And I was blown away by, you had a full ensemble. You had some vocals
right
there that just tore it up. And people understand when we say you tore it up, there's nothing negative about that at all. Everything is all good.
Yeah.
So tell me something, the Jeff Lorber, the Herbie Hancocks and things of that nature, and you have the contemporary influences as well. Which side do you typically lean towards?
Whatever hits me at the time, it depends. Like if I'm writing a song, sometimes I'll hear the rhythm. I'll hear like the groove happening first, and then the song develops off of that. Or sometimes it'll be a bass line that's like, I'll be in the shower and this funky bass line will hit me. So I'll start to develop the song off of that. Or there might be a song you're trying to convey lyrically. And that might, let me write this song because I have this idea about a story that I envision, and you write the song around that. So, it honestly depends. I can't tell you kind of what comes first. Is it the jazz? It's kind of the song that dictates the direction that you go with it. I'll say that much.
Whatever the vibe takes you, that's where we go.
Right. And some songs will be jazzier than others. And some songs will be funkier than others. I recognize, and I've been told by radio promoters that Los, this song is more smooth jazz. I can push this one. And then other times it's like, this is too funky, or this is too gospel. But, I try to be true to that. I'm not trying to write songs that'll fit into a certain niche, but I write stuff that I think that appeals to me, that feels good to me, and that I'm hopeful will feel good to people that hear it. That's feel good music. There you go.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that because as I was introduced to your music, and you have your album called Black Bottom Cupcake, which is a unique title all by itself. And I said, okay. I said Black Bottom Cupcake. So I was like, okay, where's he going with this title? And I began to listen to the music and like the radio promoters that you mentioned, I felt the same. I said, okay, that's not smooth jazz. I can't play that. Well, wait a minute. I can play this one. I can play this.
Right.
Oh, there's a number of I can play.
Yes.
And I have played it. So Talk to me about Black Bottom Cupcake, your album that's out.
That was actually my second studio project. I did one prior to that called Say Something. And, it honestly was just me saying, all right, I got to put all my stuff down. I've been doing this music thing for a while. I've been writing these songs. Let me finally do it and put it down and put it out there, and I'll see what happens. So that one actually surprisingly got some legs, and it got some run, got some radio play. small college radio stations, some stuff overseas. I always joke about I was real big in some little town in Germany. They were grooving off of one of my songs, so that was fun. So then I'm like, okay, wifey told me I could do another one, so I said, cool, let me do one more. So that's where, Say Something was like, if I only do this one time, I want to make sure I do it this way. Black Bottom Cupcake, I'm like, okay, let's have some fun. I was actually in Starbucks and they had a cupcake in the counter. It's like Black Bottom Cupcake. And I remember saying, oh, that'd be a good title for a song. So I wrote a song called Black Bottom Cupcake, and it ended up being the title track to the album.
Right.
If you see the album cover, it looks kind of cheeky and there's a little vibe to it, but it's all in good. It's all in fun, right? And so for me, Black Bottom Cupcake is like, it's the black bottom to me is that's that funkiness, that's that bass, right. That's the black bottom, right? But the cupcake is, everybody likes cupcakes, man. It's fun. So it's funky, but it's fun. So that's the vibe. That's the vibe on the album.
Let's do this. Let's do something here. How about, I know our listeners are going, hey, we're talking about Black Bottom Cupcakes.
Yeah, man.
Let's do this. Let's introduce them first to one of your tracks, and we're going to come right back. So introduce our listeners right now so they can get a feel as to who you are. So when we come back, they have a better taste as to what's happening with you. So introduce our listeners to one of the tracks on Black Bottom Cupcake that we can play here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz.
So I'm let's break out Since Memory. This song got your boy on keys. On drums, on this one is my guy, Jay Lane. Jay has been around for a while. He was with Charlie Hunter Trio back in the day doing that acid jazz thing. And lately he's been on the road with Bob Ware and Dead & Co. So he's a big time drummer. On bass is a fabulous bass player, Ariane Cap. And on saxophone is my dude, Tony Peebles on sax. Awesome local straight ahead jazz player. So Since Memory, wrote the song basically because it reminded me of stuff that I would hear in after school specials when I get home from junior high school back in LA where I grew up. And it gave me that kind of warm feeling from that kind of vibe. So yeah, Since Memory by your boy Uncle Los. We're
going to go to Since Memory. We'll come right back after this right here. So stay tuned for Since Memory right now here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz. have it, ladies and gentlemen. That one there is Sense Memory right here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz. We're talking today with Uncle Los Music, also known as Carlos Sanders. And he's with us today to talk about his music. I enjoy his music, and I had an opportunity to see him in concert there in the Bay Area, and I was blown away. In fact, if you go to our Instagram page, you'll scroll. I was able to capture the encore of the concert, and it's about a 7-minute clip. And I'm telling you, they lit it up. They lit it up. You won't see the vocalist on that encore, but I'm telling you, the instrumentation, the arrangement was amazing. So, Carlos,
Yes,
with
sir.
respect to what you're doing with your current project that you have out right now, what's the next for you? What else you have going on right now in terms of projects or?
Right now, we are knee-deep in finishing up the third studio project. I'm really excited about the new music on this one. I'm looking to have it out by the beginning of 2024 next year. You know, it was something that I was working on pre-COVID, and then COVID hit and all that business, of course, and then got back around to it. So this has been in the works for about 3, almost going on 4 years, and I'm finally happy to be able to get it out there. Working title is going to be Mama Say. So it's got some nice heaters on it. I'm really excited. We presented a few of the songs at the Yoshi set, and it felt good. It was well received. And so I'm really excited to get it in front of people and get their ears on it for sure. Yeah.
Nice. Now, are you looking to, or have you been working on collaborating with others? Because I know you have a huge ensemble of gifted musicians and vocalists. You guys have an amazing presence on stage. So are you looking to collaborate with anyone? I'm just curious about that.
Well, that's a great question. I surround myself with these amazing musicians. It truly is a blessing for me to have these folks, number one, willing to play my stuff, and we're all supporting each other. So it's kind of everybody that I play with probably have their own projects. Angelo Luster, the sax player, he's got his own stuff out there. My guy, Joe Griffin, my go-to drummer, he's an amazing producer. All these guys, Tony Peoples on sax, Nelson Braxton, who came up from LA to do the Yoshi's gig. Him and his brother, they're, the Braxton brothers, they got stuff out there. So I feel like we're all trying to help each other with this music thing, trying to make sure whatever work we're putting out there, whatever project we're putting out there at its best quality. So again, feel really blessed and honored to have these folks, in my tribe, and folks that I can call on. And we're just out there trying to make sure everybody hears our music and kind of understands what we're all about.
Well, you have a project coming out, you said, in the next couple of months, actually.
Yes,
so is this going to be an EP of a few songs, or are you looking to do a full album?
It's a full album, man. I got 9 tracks. I actually had to cut it down. So, again, I'm excited about this one. I'm at a point where, like with you, Michael, you hear my music, like, oh, that stuff sounds and feels pretty good. Who is this guy? So I'm at the stage where I kind of want to flip that narrative and say, I'd like people to kind of know who that guy is and not have to wonder, like, yeah, the music's pretty good. I know who that guy is, and I want to be an advocate and share him with my friends. This music feels kind of nice. So I'm looking forward to continuing to move in that direction for sure.
You're going in the right direction right now because it passed the test here.
Thank you, sir.
So when I was introduced to your music and I'm listening to your album, I'm like, oh, I can definitely do this.
Yeah.
Being one that listens to music on a daily basis, I hear so much, and your music, it captured me. Right. And I'm not just saying it just to be saying it because we're here on doing a show. I'm generally being honest. And so your music is really, to me, I can hear passion into it.
Thank you.
Enthusiastic, passionate, and you have so much in the tank to give. And so I feel that you're going to go far.
Thank you, sir. Emotional content, Michael. That's what it's about. It's got to have some emotional content. And let me tell you a quick story, man. So that gig that you came to, I had a friend of mine who said afterwards, the person that she was with, so I wrote a song for my mom who passed away, rest in peace, Mom. And the first time I played it was at that show. And she said the lady that she was with started bawling and crying because her mom had recently passed away. So she was feeling that in that moment. And as a songwriter, man, you want to elicit something. You want people to feel something. So yes, I was sad that I made her sad. But that was the best feedback you could get, is that, man, you wrote a song and it brought somebody to tears. That means something for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. That's when it's from the heart. Now, some of our listeners are wondering, Uncle Los Music.
Yes, sir.
How did you come up with that name as opposed to just using your name or any other name? Uncle Los,
This is not my first rodeo, so I've had a couple of other bands. I won't name them all, but they've all,
Okay.
they've all had a variety of different names, known by a lot of different stuff. And so I said, but I never put my name in any form out in the front of it. And so with this one, it was like, okay, I'm writing these songs and I want people to come to see me perform with these amazing musicians. And it was kind of a joke in my head, like, who are you going to see? Oh, Uncle Los music? Cool. What kind of music does he play? Oh, he plays Uncle Los music. Oh, all right. So it's describing the act, but it's also describing the kind of music. It's Uncle Los music. It's like you said, it's not all smooth jazz and it's not all soulful R&B. It's just kind of, this is what Los does. And it feels good, man. And I said I wanted to write songs. I wanted them to be with catchy melodies. I wanted them to have vibes that you could pat your foot to. And if we had lyrics with them, I wanted the lyrics to not just be about, stuff that's out there now, but stuff that'll make you think and the stuff that tells a story. And that's kind of the vibe that I was after. As far as the Uncle Los music goes, my nephews and nieces, when they were little, couldn't say Carlos. So they'd say Uncle Los. And I still got friends out here that call me Los all day long. So that's kind of the Uncle Los music vibe. That's where that came from.
Ah, there we are. And I wondered that. And here's why I figured it might be that, because my niece, if she's listening, Dominique.
What's up, Dominique?
When she was about 18 months old, I could not for the life of me get her to say Michael. I said, come on, say Uncle Michael. And she's like, Coco. Uncle,
there you
Coco.
go. Nice.
Coco. So
yes,
when
sir.
you said Uncle Los, I went, must be a family member who couldn't say Carl. So that's it.
That's it.
I love it. I love it. How can people get in touch with you? How can they connect with you online, social media, websites? What do you have for us?
I've got my Instagram presence. It's Uncle Los _music at Uncle Los _music on Instagram. Got my website up and running. That's UncleLosMusic.com. That's one word. On the website, we'll be able to have it. It'll be developed in another month or so, but we're finishing the website off as well. And you'll be able to see my upcoming show dates. You'll be able to interact with me. We even got some wonderful merch coming out. So that's going to be fun. I just want everybody out there being a part of Uncle Los Nation and repping that Uncle Los swag. So it's going to be nice. Nice
indeed. So in the meantime, while the website's getting built up, they can get you on Instagram, Uncle Los _music, correct?
Yes, sir. And then, I'm at a point now where you can Google me. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, got a nice little YouTube presence. So if folks are out there and they just want to hear my stuff and see what I'm all about, just put me in your browser, Uncle Los Music, or you can go to YouTube and search Uncle Los Music. I've got clips. I've got songs all up in there. So by all means, check me out, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll be happy to respond and interact with you.
Fantastic. Let's do this. As we close, I want you to introduce our listeners to another one of your tracks from your latest album. What do you have for us?
So this one's called Fort Point. It's actually the cool thing about this one. I was in the studio with my boy, Chris Cortez, and he's my engineer and my guru. And I said, man, I want to write a funky tune in 5, 5/4. Like, was it Brubeck that did Take 5? Do that. I wanted a funky tune in 5. So I wrote this tune. It's in 5. It's got some amazing musicians on it. Once again, your boy Uncle Los on keys, keyboard bass on this one as well. On drums, my man, JG Joel Griffin on drums. My guy, Mr. Cedric Dennis, Cedo on guitar. On sax, once again, my dude Tony Tipples on sax. Percussion, the professor himself, Mr. Michael Spiro on percussion. He was at the Yoshi show. He's amazing. And I think that's all we've got on this one. But this is one of my favorite tracks off of the Black Bottom Cupcake project. It's called Fort Point.
And you're hearing it right here, folks, on Sacramento Smooth Jazz. Carlos, thank you for hanging out with us today. I had a great time talking with you.
My pleasure. I appreciate you, my dude. Thank you so much.
for listening to Sacramento Smooth Jazz. To continue listening to Smooth Jazz 24/7, follow Sac Smooth Jazz on social media and listen by going to sacsmoothjazz.fm.